Hello friends, in the current video tutorial I am going to talk about using XY graph to plot data sets of two variables with respect to each other. So let's get started. So before moving further, I would like to first say why we need XY graph. We already have waveform graph, then why we need XY graph? Firstly, in waveform graph we cannot have unequal increments, right? So increments on the x-axis must be equal and they must be regular. We will have a specific start index and we will have regular increments only. Uneven sample data cannot be plotted on the waveform graph. We can plot timestamps on the x-axis, but again those timestamps must be having regular equal increments. Then we can plot multi-valued functions in XY graph only. We cannot plot multi-valued functions in the waveform graph, and we cannot plot one variable data with respect to the other variable data in the waveform graph. So that's why we need XY graph. So when and where we can use XY graph? So XY graph is used where we have to plot two variables with respect to each other, such as temperature versus atmospheric pressure, humidity versus temperature, speed versus torque, current versus voltage, light intensity versus wavelength, and so on. So XY graph is a general purpose Cartesian graphing object that plots multi-valued functions, and they can also plot circular shapes and waveforms with varying time base. The XY graph displays any sets of data points evenly sampled or unevenly sampled. So XY graph is a very versatile graphing system available in LabVIEW. So I try to plot X versus Y on the waveform graph. I want to show you the need of plotting the data on XY graph. I try to plot the data on waveform graph first. I build array from the two. I use build array to make a appended array using XY arrays, and then I plot this appended array onto the waveform graph, trying to plot X versus Y. This is the only possibility for waveform graph, and at the same time I bundle X and Y arrays together and create a output cluster, which is cluster of arrays, and then I try to plot that cluster of arrays onto the XY graph. So here also I try to plot X versus Y. So when I run the program, so see in the waveform graph, which is this one, so waveform graph I have tried to plot X versus Y. So X is plotted, which is plot 0, X is plotted and Y is plotted. So X and Y both are plotted, but they are not with respect to each other, they are with respect to the samples, right? But on the XY graph I have bundled, and now this data is X versus Y. This is not X with respect to samples or Y with respect to samples. This is X versus Y data. So that's why there is a need for XY graph when we are trying to plot X versus Y, which is not possible on the waveform graph. Now we'll see another example in which I will plot the data of humidity and temperature, average temperatures of Delhi on various type of graphs to clarify my point further. So given is a data of average humidity, average high temperature, average low temperature of Delhi. So we are going to plot various plots related to the average temperatures and humidity for various months throughout the year on various types of graphs, and we will come to the concept of plotting using XY graph using this data. So I'm going to plot monthly average high temperature, monthly average low temperature with the months on the XY graph only, then monthly average humidity in percentage with the month only, with respect to month only, and then I'm plotting the XY graphs in the form of monthly average high temperature versus average humidity percent, monthly average low temperature versus average humidity percent, and monthly high, low and humidity combined together with respect to months. So let's see the first ones. So monthly average high temperature with respect to month, monthly average low temperature with respect to month, monthly average percentage humidity with respect to month. So when I plot this, I have this data: high temperature with respect to month, low temperature with respect to month, and humidity percentage with respect to month. Then I'm plotting the second level of data, monthly average high temperature versus average humidity percent. So this is XY, pure XY graph type of plotting, and over here monthly average low temperature versus average humidity percent, again XY type of plotting. And here I am plotting monthly average high temperature, monthly average low temperature, and monthly average humidity with respect to months. So that comes to the end of the video. I hope you have understood the concepts properly and you have liked this video. Thanks for watching this video and come again.